All right, hello everyone. So we're going to look at the study guide answers, and hopefully you guys will make corrections. I will tell you that some of the questions on the study guide are very similar to those on the assessment. And remember, you can use your study guide, you can use your Algebra Nation books, whatever you need to use. All right, so here we go. All right, the data obtained from a random sample of athletic swimmers showed that as the size of the athlete decreased, the average speeds decreased. Which statement best is supported by the data? So we are going to hopefully get my tablet working. So it says smaller size causes athlete swimmers to swim slower. The sample of swimmers shows a causal relationship between the speed of a swimmer. There are no correlations between the size. And D, the sample of swimmers shows a correlation between size and swim speed. So that would be D. All right, so what does the correlation coefficient of 975 thousandths on a linear regression indicate? Remember, the closer to 1 and -1, the stronger the relationship. So that would be a strong relationship. All right, so looking at this, the line of best fit, there are several dots that you could use, but the ones that I would use is the one where the line is kind of going through the whole dot. So that would be 0, 3 and 10, 15. So we know the y-intercept is 3. So to find the slope, we would do 15 minus 3, 10 minus 0. So that would give me 12 over 10, or 6/5, or 1 1/5. Or we could say 1 2/10. 1 2/10. So however you wanted to put it. So 1 2/10 x. Now, if you use the different dot, your slope will be a little bit different. But on the test, I would say, let me look at it real quick, that the dots should be really close. I want to make sure that I can tell you from the test. Yeah, so on the actual test, the lines go through actual points. Okay, so you'll be able to figure that out. So it won't be any question about that. All right, so moving on. The school newspaper surveyed the student body for an article about club membership. The table shows the number of students in each grade level who belong to one or more clubs. So there are 225 students in the 10th grade. What percentage of 10th grade students belong to one or more? So that would be this one and this one. So 12 plus 15. So that would give me 27 over 225. So that, if you divide that, gives me 1,200. So as a percent, it would be 12%. All right. Moving on to number 5. Identify each scatter plot below with the appropriate value of R. So as you can see, the dots are real close to that line. It is a negative regression, so that would be negative 999 thousandths. Okay, this one versus this one, still negative, right? But these are closer than these dots. So we are going to say it's this one, negative 547 thousandths. And then this one would be even further, which would be 1 thousandths. All right, so these are our two positives. So as you can see, these dots are closer, so that would be more closer to 1. So 900, oh, my fault, 990. So let's see if we can erase that. There we go. Back to the pen. All right, so then this one would be, where's my other positive right there? 790 thousandths. Okay. All right, so we're looking at these numbers, determining which one has a strong linear association or a weak one. We know that this is 2/10, so that would be weak. Negative 95 hundredths, very close to -1. So both of these would be strong. Negative 1/10, so very weak. And this one is 8900, so that's pretty close, pretty strong. All right, number 7. I know that this one is very similar to the one that's on the test, which is the following statement about residuals are true. Select all that apply. So that would be A and E. Residual plots determine if a function is a good fit, and the sum of the residuals should be about 0. All right, number 8, which situation does not describe a causal relationship? That would be D. Okay. All right, moving to number 9. Which of the following statements about correlation coefficient are true? So those would be A, B, and E. All right. All right, so we're going to use this information to fill in the table. So 425 students were surveyed. So 425 would go here. Of the 275 girls surveyed, so we're going to go girls, 275. 175 attended the show, so attended, so 175. So that means this has to be 100. So we know 425 and we know 275. That means this one has to be 150. All right, continue reading. Of the boys surveyed, 100 attended the show, so 100. So if this is 150 and 100, this would be 50. So 50, 100, 150, 100, 175, 275. All right, so on the next one, you have to kind of read what it's asking you. So we're going to use the table and to determine these percentages that are correct. So 42% of the freshmen do not play a sport. So freshmen do not play a sport. So of the freshmen, which is 85, do not play a sport would be 35. So 35 out of 85 is 41%. Okay, so I'll kind of alternate between them. All right, so 22% of those surveyed are sophomores who play a sport. So those that are surveyed, so that would be 192 sophomores play a sport. So that would be 45. And 45 divided by 192 is 23. So A and B are out. All right, C, of the freshmen that play a sport. So freshmen play a sport is 50. And then we are looking for of the freshmen, which is 85. So 50 divided by 85 is approximately 59%. So that means C is out. All right, D, 51 of those surveyed do not play a sport. So those that are surveyed, total amount, 192. And what do they do? Not play a sport. So that would be 97. So 97 divided by 192 is approximately 51%. So D would work. All right, E, 73 of the sophomores that do not play a sport. So sophomores, which is 107, and do not play a sport, which is 62. So 62 divided by 107 is approximately 60%. So that means E is out. And F, sophomores account for 47% of those who play a sport. So sophomores play a sport. So play sport is 95. Sophomores is 45. So 45 of 95 is 47%. So F works. All right, so moving on to that last one. So this kind of went with the table that we did, I believe, on 10.5, where we had to find all the residuals and then subtract them and then find the actual amount. All right, so if you remember, we had to substitute what X was, what the value of X was. So we're going to do 4.1 plus 3 times 3. Well, I have no idea what happened there. Okay, I don't know why that's not. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah. All right, so let's retry that. So plus 3 times 3. It must have thought I was doing a circle. I don't know. All right, so 4.1 plus 9 is 4 9/10. So now we have to subtract what we got from what we have. So that would be negative and negative, so we add them. So negative 8 9/10. Okay, then we take the next one, negative 2, so negative 4 1/10, plus 3 times negative 2, so negative 4 1/10, plus negative 6, negative and negative, which is not correct. What should we have done? We should have subtracted. That's well, we could do that too. All right, so negative 4 1/10 and 6 would be negative 10 1/10. So now we take that 0, so 0 minus negative 10 1/10. So we add the opposite, so that would give me 10 1/10. All right, and then the last one. So it says if the residual value for an X value is 5, it's 3.1, what is the actual Y value? So we are going to take a negative 4.1 times it times the 5, which it told us. So negative 4.1 plus 15. So that's going to give me 10 9/10. So we're going to kind of work backwards. So we don't know this. Remember, we subtract it from what we get, but we know that when we subtract it, we're getting 3 1/10. So if we're going to solve for X, we're going to do the opposite, which means we're going to add. So then X would be 14. So that means, and actually we're trying to solve for the Y value. So this really should have been what? Should have been Y and not X, but you get the idea. Okay. All right. So that is it. Please make corrections. Remember, once again, you can use your study guide on the test. So hopefully you will make a good grade. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk with you later.